Choose what is important to you. Prioritize your life. Set your goals and priorities. If money, if position and power is a priority, that's perfect. But my question to you is, what will you do with so much position, power, and money? Again, you want to be happy. You want to be satisfied. And we all know that these materialistic treasures and things are only things. Understand that if you are running in a rat race and you win the race, you are still a rat. You are not anybody else. So if are you ready to still be in that rat race? That is very important for us to understand.
Welcome to Inspire Someone Today podcast, a show where we dive into the stories and insights that has the power to create ripples of inspiration in your life. I'm your host Shrikant, and I'm thrilled to be with you on this journey of inspiration. Welcome back, my dear listeners, for yet another episode of Inspire Someone Today. I'm thrilled to have today's guest. My first run-in with him was his soul-stirring TEDx talk. What a talk it was. Dr. Mohit Gupta, currently working as Professor of Cardiology in GB Pant Hospital and Medical Superintendent of Cardiac Sciences. A man not short of recognition, he was recently awarded for the Best Cardiology Innovation for the year 2021 by the Cardiology Society of India. Apart from a practicing cardiologist, he is a much sought-after motivational speaker, a practitioner of Brahma Kumaris, and has a thriving YouTube channel. It's an absolute joy to have Mohit Gupta on this episode of Inspire Someone Today. I'm sure listeners will be enthralled in this conversation. Dr. Mohit, great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Shrikant. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure and privilege to be here. Really to inspire someone today.
Yes, thank you so much. You have been inspiring a lot of folks out there through a lot of stuff that you do, both as a professional doctor and your passion to help people to grow, to manifest positivity in their life. With that said, doctor, what really drew my attention, like I said, was your TED Talk coming from your personal health crisis, so to say. Could you share, let's start from there, 20th March 2023. So can we get started from there, and how did it impact you personally, professionally, and how did it go about making the change that you made?
See, smooth seas are never going to make a skillful sailor. We all know that. So challenges and different kind of problems are a part of our life. And we all are growing and grooming ourselves when we face different kind of challenges. And my life has definitely not been different. It's been terrific, absolutely, being a good student right throughout my school and medical career. Study, achieving everything the way and how I wanted. I was able to naturally attract success towards me, and I definitely became an intervention cardiologist, and the things were moving on fine. And then, suddenly for approximately a few months, I was losing weight without any specific reason and an unusual fatigue. But on that particular day, I was very tired, and I came back. As you know, I've shared numerous times. I collapsed in the floor of my house after my mother handed over an ice cream cup to me. And when I was rushed to the hospital, my brain scans revealed a big mass on right side of the brain, and that was diagnosed to be a multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. Well, that is okay. You do develop multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, but the organism was cancer. I've seen only one infection in my life of 50 years, and that is on my own self. And 19 drugs available, resistant to 18, including everywhere across the world. And 16 tablets a day. That is how my schedules were running. And the home, 8 tablets in the morning, 9 tablets in the evening, and injection every day on first my buttocks and then my hand. So you can imagine how much medicines were just being poured into my body. And more so, I really used to bang my head. That was the level of intracranial pressure, that they were so high. And it was giving me so much pain. And every day I was just feeling that somebody just takes out that portion and I feel relieved. But this is how this was going on. And what it left me was with some really great and different kind of thoughts. It completely transformed my thinking from a naturally successful human being to a person suddenly who was seeing his death to the closest. Imagine not weeks, not years, a day completely changes your life. What happens when suddenly everything is going on perfect, the way you are wanting, everything is just spick and span, and next day you find yourself in the ICU and suddenly fighting for life and death. And that was the level of impact that had created on my own self. And I knew that there are certain things that were going on wrong in my life, and that gave me a chance of introspection. Being in the family of doctors, I was wondering that what has gone really wrong in our life. And let me share that I could really look on that the balance, which is key of our life, the work and life balance. Look at yourself, Shrikant, and everybody who's listening, just check your life. Where is the balance? Are we able to maintain that delicate balance between our work and life? Somewhere, somehow, we are compromising on that balance. We have completely destroyed that balance to a significant extent. Either we are working endlessly. We are earning, we are gaining materialistic wealth. But where is the sense of joy and happiness? That's a big question. I also was able to see that typically our life is very simple. God has not created complexities in our life. Life is inherently very simple and straightforward, but we have made a mess out of it just by our own complicated thinking, by our never-ending needs and never-ending greed. That is what we have created. I could also see that we feel pride that we are very busy. We are much wanted. We are much desired in this world. But look at this. Once we have started, we program ourselves that we are very busy. We don't have time. Our performance goes down by almost 75% and our stress increases by 100%. This is how my life was running. What I labeled as success a day before that was how much cases I am able to do, how much I'm able to earn, how much I'm able to achieve these things in my life. And then suddenly all these things were seemingly irrelevant to me. They were nothing. They were of no importance to me. Lying down in that ICU, that money, that position, that power, that everything was not making any sense to me. And that is how my life was deeply impacted. My thoughts were deeply impacted. My brain was deeply impacted. Everything in my life, the way I was looking at my life a day before and the next day, it was completely changed. It was completely transformed. So I knew that something has to be done. This is the kind of impact you can imagine, that a person lying down in the ICU and just banging his head every day, banging every moment that some miracles happen and that this comes out. This was the pain that I was in that day, on that day.
And that realization happened because you had this situation that happened to you and that forced you to have that kind of an thinking, self-introspection and come to what you came to. We don't wish this to happen to anybody, but this is something that's the life truth. So how can one get into this mode of what is meaningful to the individual? What are the practices of self-realization that one can adapt to so that they can be at peace? And like you mentioned about the balance, how can one strive towards balance?
Time is of essence. Realization is of essence. We all are aware that this is how and this is the way things should be doing or this things should be running. But the biggest challenge that we face is we have not understood that self-care is a priority. It's not a luxury. That's very important. You understand that? We are taking care of everyone in this world. We are taking care of our work. We are taking care of our profession. We are taking care of our family. We are taking care of our needs, everything. But where is it that we get time to talk to ourselves, to take care of our own thought process, to take care of how we are approaching life? That is very important. And this is where the change begins. This is the rate limiting step. This is where most of the people don't understand that it's not selfish, that you should take out time to talk to your own self, introspect your own behavior, your own feelings, your own achievements. This is what I often call it as self-auditing. Very, very important. Self-auditing and self-talk is very important for us. Today, we are unable to do that. Today, we are achievers. We get everything in our life. Most of us, if not all of us, many of us are able to achieve desirable results. I get thousands and thousands, millions and millions of people who say that I have everything in my life. I have position, I have power, I have money, I have everything in my life. But that sense of happiness, joy, and peace is not there. Now, if that sense of happiness, joy, and peace is not there, that means somewhere, somehow, that auditing is not taking place, and I'm running, but I'm running without any proper direction. So what I say is bring a 1% change. That's a 1% phenomena that we all know. A small change, a 1% change, a small 1 degree change in your trajectory, in your life. In your life means in your thoughts. Only 1 degree change in your thoughts will completely change the way you have or your life is approximately a year down the lane. So that has to be taken care of. So it begins with self-auditing and taking out time for your own life. The second thing is choose what is important to you. Prioritize your life. Set your goals and priorities. If money, if position and power is a priority, that's perfect. But my question to you is, what will you do with so much position, power, and money? Again, you want to be happy. You want to be satisfied. And we all know that these materialistic treasures and things are only things. Understand that if you are running in a rat race and you win the race, you are still a rat. You are not anybody else. So if are you ready to still be in that rat race? That is very important for us to understand. So if we want to come out, if we want to redesign and rechange and recreate our life, we have to really see that 10 years, 15 years, 5 years from now, from this particular moment, how do I see myself? If you ask me, I want to be happy, number one. I want to be healthy, number two. I want to be peaceful, number three. I want to be just in a state of bliss. You see, now all of these things which I have said, they are not dependent on my materialistic wealth and treasure. You would agree with me on that. I can be unhappy even if I'm driving a Mercedes, and I can be happy if I'm driving a small car. If I want to be happy, happiness does not depend on materialistic things, on people, nothing. If I start endoing or putting or bargaining my happiness into something that is very materialistic, something like a shirt, like a good car, like a good sedan, or like a good watch or something like that, the risk is that a scratch on a car will also take away my happiness. So where is that sense of joy? So self-auditing and self-change is where all these things start. It has to start from your own self. So as you say that inspire someone today, I would say first we all have to inspire and motivate our own selves. Only when we are inspired, only when we feel that our life is full of abundance and bliss, then this energy radiates outside. So that's a start.
So many powerful points out there. We'll start with self-audit and happiness. And like they say, happiness is a state of mind. You very rightly mentioned it's not materialistic stuff, but it is how you feel. You can still be sitting in a Mercedes and still be unhappy about it. So we'll touch upon that. I just want to draw your attention back to your transformation. We did talk about your health scare that you have had, but you transformed and how well you transformed, and you attribute that transformation to a large extent to the mental strength that you developed, the mental work that you were able to do for you to overcome from where you were to what you are today. If you were to kind of walk us through that, how did you go about doing that? And how can one work on the mental side of it so that it has an impact on the overall being of that self?
So let me make it very simple for you. The mental strength the outer transformation or anything outside is a consequence of the mindset and the patterns or the belief that we create inside. You see, today I'm here with you on the podcast because my mindset was tuned and ready to get along with you. And this mindset is again a consequence of nothing but a simple, one single powerful thought. That is where the mental strength starts. That is where the transformation starts. That is where the renaissance or the evolution starts. And that is where everything new starts. If you want to create something new or achieve something new in your life, you have to think new, you have to think powerfully, you have to think differently, and you have to think in such a way that it impacts everything outside, So I have been a strong believer that your life is nothing but a consequence of the thoughts that you create inside. And I'll explain it to you very simply, Sharika. You see, every single thought, a typical human behavior or a human mind would create somewhere around about 50 to 70,000 thoughts in a single day. And the biggest challenge is that 90 to 95% of our thoughts are waste, are useless, are negative, and are purposeless thoughts. Only 5% of our thoughts today, according to these studies, are positive, powerful, and purposeful. And why it is important? Because every thought that I'm creating is manifesting as a behavior. And every behavior that I'm manifesting is giving me a feeling, isn't it? If I create a positive thought, what will happen? It will give me a good behavior. I start behaving nicely. And if I'm behaving powerfully, my feelings are powerful, my emotions are powerful, and these emotions are going to strike back and again stimulate those positive thoughts. And there is a lot of science that is running behind it. Now understand that when I'm diseased, when I'm really ill, or somebody is facing a physical, mental, or an emotional challenge, or a personal or a professional challenge, we all are going through different thought patterns, isn't it? Now, if I go through that redundant, that repetitive, that negative thinking, that catastrophic thinking, what will happen? My brain is working like a projector. Every time I think negative and catastrophically, मैं तो बीमार हूँ, I'm not good, I'm not well, things are not working well, I don't think I'll be able to make it or not. My behavior would be negative. My feelings would be really sad. I would be having very negative emotions, and they will trigger the same negative thoughts. It will start creating a vicious cycle. It will start hardwiring my brain for disease. My belief will become stronger and stronger that it is, hopeless situation, it is difficult, and I'll start living in that negative state of mind and everything, and I won't be able to even see the opportunities. When I'm in a negative state of mind, something good that is happening, I will interpret it negatively. I keep on missing the opportunities. I keep on missing the various beauties of life and those possibilities that can completely change my life. But on the contrary, the moment I change my thought, come on, that's a disease. Come on, that's a situation. Come on, that's a one particular situation. I have to use this challenge as an opportunity. I did that. On that particular day, I chose not to succumb to that particular situation. I immediately created that I have to come out of it. And if I have to win over the disease, I have to grow bigger than the disease. And that is possible only when I look at options and opportunities, not at the challenges. And that is what I started doing. That started building my mind in a very resilient way, bouncing back from the same situation. I have to come back. I have to live with it. I started rejecting that disease out of my body. After my brain was operated, I again developed another lesion in my cerebellum, nothing working out. And that is the time I completely programmed my brain that my brain is free of disease. I started rejecting disease. I said that this is not the way my brain is going to harbor the disease. I won't let anything which is alien and negative sit in my brain. I reject you. I don't accept you. And I started creating and visualizing that I'm perfectly healthy and perfectly fine. I started manifesting it. The moment you start manifesting, your thoughts have so much power, so much power. Your behavior, your feelings, your emotion, your whole immune system, your whole body's biochemistry, and every single cell, they start behaving differently. They create abundant energy that creates powerful healing in you. So every negative situation is giving you an opportunity to think differently and to think new. Look at any person, any situation. It could be anything. It could be a small problem, which would be like this. It could be a big problem, but thinking is what is creating our destiny. So my message is, whatever you want to create outside, please note it. Very important. Whatever you want to create outside, first create it inside your brain, inside your mind. Visualize it. Create a blueprint. Live with it. Believe in it. Every day, focus on it. Start manifesting it. Don't think that it may happen. Start visualizing. It has already happened in my life and it will be magical. And I'll tell you, Sherikan, your natural thing would be that how does it work? It's not that what I am saying. There is a science that is running behind it. There is a logic that is running behind it, and that is called a neuroplasticity. What it says is that nerve cells that fire together, they wire together. Dr. Eric Kendall got a Nobel Prize for it. He worked on snails. That once you are having the same thoughts which are repeatedly firing, the natural process of the body is they start wiring together. And the moment they wire together, they create hard wiring of your brain and give you a completely new set of program, a new set of beliefs, a program where your body runs automatically. So you are nothing. You are the way you are thinking. If I start thinking positively, 21 days to 254 days, my new neuronal system gets hardwired. I get a completely new set of habits, behaviors, personality, and that creates a personal reality. This is what Joe Dispenza keeps on talking. This is what actually is happening with all of us. So you keep on doing that thing repeatedly inside, if we start manifesting outside.
So you mentioned quite a few things here: manifestation, visualization, and how you're able to kind of manifest that disease is not going to take you over, but you are going to take over the disease. And a lot of this also comes from a point of you being aware of how you want to go about doing this. And for a lot of our listeners listening to this piece of the conversation, how can one go about creating that awareness in the first place? And what are the practices that one needs to do? You mentioned about 21 days to 254 days. Do they need to do it consistently, regularly? How do one go about doing this? One is building the awareness. Two is building the practice.
See, number one is wherever your attention goes, your energy flows, isn't it? So the biggest challenge today, we all know about this. This is a very famous saying. What I'm saying is, am I able to take out time? Awareness can be built only when you are ready to give yourself some time, isn't it? The challenge for transformation, the biggest rate limiting step for transformation, self-transformation, is we don't take out time to heal our own selves. That is what is very important for us to understand. Taking out time, analyzing your own thoughts, analyzing your own life, analyzing and interpreting your successes and failures, interpreting them, seeing where the things are right and seeing where the things are not working the way, it requires little time. And this is where that awareness will start creating that these are the points where I have to work on. That is very important. And for this, you have to give out 5 to 10 minutes every day. Important. You have heard that story of sharpening your axe. You remember? Sharpening our axe. Very simple. When we were in first and second class, everybody has heard that thing. This is the state of affairs of today, everybody in this world, how we are working. We are continuously performing, but nobody is auditing whether my axe is sharpened enough. You take out 10 or 15 minutes to sharpen your axe and you're cutting your interpretation, your job will become much more easier. Today, we are continuously using choro work. Who has time? Let us continuously work. But once you take out time to sharpen your mind, interpret your mind, analyze your mind, your analysis will be much more beautiful and powerful. Your relationships will become much more beautiful. You will be able to see where the trajectory of life is going. This is called self-auditing. And if changes have to be really inculcated, small changes will bring great transformation. So awareness can be brought out only when we are taking out time for our own self. And how do you do it? Simple. manifesting it in your life by small changes. Affirmations, self-talk. If everything has to be created in one word or everything has to be done in one particular word, summarized in one word, that is powerful self-talk. We all are talking to this whole world. We are talking to different people, but there is a silent phenomena or silent thing or silent talk that goes on in our mind continuously, even now. Even at this moment, when you are listening to me and our or people are listening to us, a subtle subconscious self-talk is going on. What is he speaking? Is it going to work out for me? Am I able to do this? I don't do this. This is where the things are. Oh, this is not important. Oh, this is important. Leave it, leave it. These are very difficult things to do. These are very ideal. Oh no, you should be doing it. This is self-talk. Negative self-talk will resist transformation, will not allow us to come out of the comfort zones. Whereas positive self-talk, powerful thinking, optimistic thinking will really change our life, redesign our life. So that is why it's important to create powerful thoughts, and those powerful thoughts will start feeding our brains, will start feeding our or programming our subconscious mind by what is called as self-talk. And I would also like to make a point, Shrikant, here, that as you said that, obviously we wouldn't like the world or people to go to in the kind of experiences that I have gone. But, change can be created by a couple of ways and probably 3 or more ways. And one of the ways is shock therapy. Shock therapy is like, you go like a disease process I have undergone, or something really sad or something really fantastic happens, and it gives like a shock, positive and negative, and your whole thought process is transformed, and this leaves a very powerful impression on your subconscious brain. Your whole outlook towards life changes. The second way is consistency. Every day you are programming your brain. That's a more easy, more logical way. So if I'm creating this positive self-affirmations every day, very simple, powerful affirmations every day to my brain, practicing gratitude every day. Every day you are practicing gratitude for everything that is happening in your life. Positive, negative, positive people, situations. They could be positive and negative. Everything you are expressing your gratitude, it will reprogram your brain and will reprogram your life into a whole new world. You must be optimistic in designing your next day, creating your next day, visualizing your next day as a beautiful day, manifesting it that this is going to happen. This is the way things are going to happen in my life. You start manifesting affirmations. Everything is going to be just perfect, just superb, and just the way I want. Belief is the key. ऐसा नहीं कि it may happen, it happened for Dr. Mohit. I don't know whether it is going to happen for me or not. Let me just say, kya jata hai? Let me just reiterate these words. No, it is never going to happen. With belief that it is going to happen. I am attracting it. I am manifesting it. This is the way I want my life to run. And if you start visualizing, programming your brain, it will start hardwiring. It will start hardwiring. Consistency is the key. Third one. Consistency is the key. Be consistent. Doing it 2 days out of 7 days is not going to work for you. Being consistent every day, working on your own self, sharpening your own self, believing in your thoughts. More and more belief ingredient is increasing every day. Percentage is increasing every day. Will increase the chance of that thing manifesting in your life earlier and earlier and earlier. That is the power of consistency. So if we continuously running, and then there are certain bad days, of course, there are certain days when the things are not just running the way I want. My fourth mantra is, which is very important, is there is nothing called failures in life. No, absolutely nothing. You either succeed or you learn. That is how you do in your life. So it's not that failure is opposite of success. It's an integral part of success. What is most important is showing up every day to your own self, talking to yourself every day, irrespective of the kind of thing. If it is positive, even if it is negative, it doesn't matter. You have to show up. You have to be consistent in what you are doing, irrespective of the failures and successes, maintaining the same schedules. That is very, very important. These simple things, starting from first your belief system, Starting from most powerful, you create that thought process, giving time to your own self to create that awareness. And then you start with whole abundant, affirmations, programming your mind. It could be anything, these are just 4 affirmations which I'm saying to you. It could be anything. And you see your life will completely start changing. The trajectory will completely start going in a different direction.
Beautiful. And the core of what you mentioned here, Dr. Mohit, also looks like it starts from the foundation of self-belief. So once you have that self-belief that, okay, this thought will work, this thought will manifest, and this is the path towards me seeking happiness, me seeking success, whatever the case be. But the foundation of all of this is self-belief. And as you mentioned, lot of our thoughts, self-talk is not towards that self-belief. It's more towards what the naysayers have to say. So how can one strengthen that self-belief in their journey towards manifesting what they want?
You see, our life is a consequence of what we believe. And I'll give you an example. To strengthen your belief, you must have an experience. Imagine you and me are going in a traffic and stuck up in a traffic jam. Now, 90% of us in that particular traffic jam believe that traffic is stressful, isn't it? And because of that belief that traffic is stressful, what happens? 90 to 95, 99% of us will start shouting, getting angry, getting irritated, and in some cases, it will turn into a road rage. Agree with me or not, Shrikant? It does happen. But 1% of us in that particular situation are absolutely cool. The traffic doesn't affect their state of mind. They are absolutely fine. Why? Because their belief is that traffic is outside. How does it affect my inner traffic? Let me remain cool. So their behavior is that they are enjoying in their car, they're listening to music, they're working on their laptop, they're just communicating that I'm stuck up in a traffic jam. I cannot help it. When the traffic goes up, light, and I'll be able to come to my place. This is how it works. So your behavior is a function of belief. This is the first point you must understand. You will never be able to change your behavior until and unless we are able to change our belief system. How does the belief system come? Belief system comes when we experience something. When we really experience something, I believe that doing this will yield this to me. I believe that when I'm preparing this particular thing or approaching this particular case or doing this particular surgery in this way is going to give me success. It comes with experience. Belief comes when we are observing other people, when we are seeing the behaviors of other people, positive and negative. It could be anything. When we see that these people have believed that this is the way they are living their life, it yields them a positive result, it yields them a negative result, or it makes their life a neutral. So seeing others also creates a powerful belief system. The third way the belief comes is by reading. When we are reading scriptures, when we are reading certain things, that when people believe that this is the way these things are working, you are going to achieve this particular thing. This is why people are praying, people are remembering God, because they believe. So creating a powerful belief today, the most important thing is practicing it on your own self. Very important. I would just say, take a small thing. If I have an angry personality, if I get irritated over small things, I want to change a belief. People keep on telling, come on, don't get irritated, Mohit. Be easy, be comfortable, be very loving in your behavior. I would never be able to change it. Why? Because I'm programmed or hardwired inside for that particular anger. And if I want to change and create a new belief system, I have to experiment with a new thought in my life. And for that, start small. Don't change your life. Don't change your year. Don't change your month or a week. Change your one day at a time. Creating a belief starts by changing and starting small. And once I choose for one particular day, I'll be happy. I'll stop analyzing and interpreting people. I'll start giving love and joy and happiness to people. And let me do it consciously. Even in that one day, I will falter many times. There will be difficult situations. But again, I consciously take back my belief to the same exercise. Come on, Mohit. After all, it's only one day worth bargaining. You can waste one day. That's out of your whole life. That's worth doing. Again, I start analyzing my behavior. doing that particular thing, at the end of the day, the result will be in front of you, positive or negative. And most probably it will be positive. You will be happy, you will be light, people will start coming to you, people will start acknowledging you, people will love to be with you. This is the kind of energy that we will be creating. And so when you do one thing for one day, and you do it repeatedly, you do it again repeatedly, it gives you a hardwired belief system. Then even in the negative situation, what will happen? You will remain calm and cool. Look at the COVID times. 99% of us were completely destroyed, not physically, but by the fear of COVID. By the fear of COVID, we were completely taken aback. Everybody was living in that fear. 0.1 to 1% of us took that COVID as an opportunity, letting go of the fear, understanding and believing that this is a beautiful opportunity to help people, to serve people. This is what we did, and your belief will start manifesting in your life. So that is what I want to explain it to you, that your behavior is a completely function of a belief system. Never change the behavior, change your belief by changing your own thoughts, listening to what others are saying, seeing what other people are doing, and reading, observing. They will give you a whole beautiful world. The other day I was taking a session for a group of CEOs, CXOs, and they were saying that India is progressing. India is amazingly doing materialistic wealth. Our GDP is rising, our incomes are rising, everything looks so good. And I got up and I said, it's coming at a cost. It's coming at a cost of the environment that we have created outside. It's coming at the cost of technology, but where is the compassion and touch in our life? The nature destroyed. Look at this. In Delhi, 50 degrees, 48 degrees, everything is coming at a cost. Why? Because we have only believed in one thing. Doing this will help us, not creating balance. So belief has to be very balanced, has to be rational, has to be evidence-based, and has to be experimented. Then only you absorb that belief. These four things have to be there with the belief. Rational, evidence-based, and it has to be really working for yourself. And then only you absorb that belief, the behavior will be changed.
Start small. It's not about having this belief of changing the world and tomorrow morning it will happen, but take those small little steps day by day for one to accomplish that end state. Wow, what powerful concepts, lessons were there, isn't it? Practices of self-realization. Self-care is a priority, not a luxury. The practice of self-audit. This gets us to the close of part 1 of this conversation. Watch out for part 2, where we dwell deeper into what creates our destiny. Is it our thinking? Is it the work? Some micro experiments that would help us in the practice of self-audit, self-talk, and neuroplasticity. What does that mean? How does belief lead into awareness? Awareness leads into consistency. All of it and much more in part 2 of this conversation. Watch out, and hope you enjoyed this discussion between Dr. Mohit Gupta. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Inspire Someone Today. This is Srikanth, your host, signing off. Until next time, continue to carry the ripples of inspiration. Stay inspired, keep spreading the light.